Hello and welcome to the Herald Gaming channel. Today, thanks to the generosity of my patrons, I bring you my top 10 reasons to play Guild Wars 2. So let's jump into it, starting with the most obvious reason. It's free to play. Yes, you can download the game and play it for free right now, and if you use my affiliate links below, it helps out the channel. Shill. Now, of course, there are limitations on a free-to-play account. It is very open to abuse by botters and the like. So you only get 2 character slots instead of 5, and a maximum of 3 bag slots, so that's your 20 slot starting bag plus 2 open slots, and you can craft up to 32 slot bags. That's not too bad. And as you level, you unlock more and more of the baked-in features, allowing you to play through the whole of the vanilla storyline, plus partaking in PvP and World v World to your heart's content on your free-to-play account. There are links below to the Guild Wars 2 wiki for a full breakdown of the free-to-play model for you. Now this is the perfect try before you buy system. You have nothing to lose and a whole world of adventure and fun to gain. And if you fall in love with Tyria, right now until the 8th of May, the latest expansion, Path of Fire, is 50% off and includes all the content from the Heart of Thorns expansion 2. And again, affiliate links below if you want to get an awesome game and help out the channel. If you are looking for a friendly, casual EU guild, there are links down there to my guild, the Krytan Herald. Just jump onto our Discord and join our nerdy family of awesomeness. Also, good to note is that Guild Wars 2 has no subscription fee ever. You can play the core game for free, and if and when you buy the expansion, it's a one-time cost, on top of which you get Living World content patches every 3 months, which is again free as long as you log into the game during the release period. To be clear, you don't have to play the Living World content when it releases, you just have to log in and you're golden. Number 2 is the diverse and dynamic professions in Guild Wars 2. There are 9 primary professions. The soldier archetypes are Warrior, Guardian and Revenant, added in Heart of Thorns. These heavy armoured powerhouses live for the fray, close up and deadly. The theatre of war is their playground. The warrior is the master of weapons, and their fast and devastating combat skills are fueled by pure adrenaline. As a berserker, you literally set yourself aflame with rage. The righteous guardian is the living embodiment of knightly virtue. They live to defend and rally their comrades and smite their foes. As a dragon hunter, these noble fighters literally sprout wings to leap into battle. As a revenant, you reach across realms to channel the spirits of legendary beings, harnessing their power to decimate your prey. From dwarven kings and demon lords to dragon prophets, the shades at their command strike fear into the hearts of their foes, although not all spirits are happy to lend a hand. The adventurer archetype professions are engineer, ranger and thief. Clad in leather, these are the tacticians of the battlefield, bringing artillery, the covert arts and mastery of nature to bear against their enemies. Engineers are masters of mechanical mayhem and alchemical warfare. Their turrets, explosives, and array of extraordinary gadgets are a steampunk arsenal of destruction. Did I mention they have light swords and holographic sniper rifles too? Rangers head into the battlefield aside their trusted combat companion. Tracking and taming all the beasts of Tyria is one of the joys of this profession. From close combat to ranged, these masters of the wild dominate the battleground. Soul Beast Rangers can even merge with their beloved pets to devastating effect. Now thieves are the masters of the shadow arts, able to move undetected on the battlefield and ambush their enemies. These deadly combatants can dual-wield knives and pistols, and even channel their inner daredevil to decimate their foes. The final archetype is the scholar, the spell-slinging light armor professions of elementalists, mesmers, and necromancers. But do not be deceived, because in Guild Wars 2, these versatile professions are not relegated to the back lines of combat. Elementalists wield the primal forces of nature: water, air, fire, and earth. They can rain down fiery destruction on their foes and call forth weapons crafted of lightning, magma, ice, and rock. They can summon elemental beings, transform into vortexes of raw power, and weave together fire and water, earth and air to overwhelm their adversaries. Mesmers are the masters of illusion, spawning clones of themselves to baffle their enemies and phantasms to wreak havoc. Their portals give tactical advantage on the battlefield, and they can even warp the fabric of reality, twisting time to their will. And if that were not enough, Mesmers are sought after to tank the most challenging raid content in the game. Not all meat shields wear plate in Guild Wars 2. Necromancers are the Dark Lords of Death. They summon shambling horrors into battle, stealing the life force of their foes as they shroud themselves in the mantle of the Reaper or bind the souls of the lost, bending them to their will. Wielding scythe or sword, these masters of the damned revel as they reap their dark bounties. Each of the 9 primary professions have 5 core specializations and 2 elite specializations added with the game's 2 expansions. Each weapon your character wields, and there are many for each profession, bring their own unique skills and abilities. So for fans of theory crafting, Guild Wars 2 has a cornucopia of spell skills and traits and weapon skills and synergies for you to weave into all manner of builds. Now this variety of abilities and builds is needed because the game has fractals, strike missions, world bosses, raids, dungeons, and open world combat, all of which benefit from tailor-made builds, not to mention PvP in all its game types, and not to forget World v World too. With this diversity of game type and professions, and inside those professions, gameplay-changing elites and builds, well, it makes Guild Wars 2 combat vast, deep, and very challenging at endgame. Now, don't get me wrong, there is plenty of casual play too, from story dungeons, the open world, story and living world missions, as well as non-combat fun, like jumping puzzles, treasure hunts, crafting, which we will cover later, and guild mission shenanigans too. It's not all hair on fire Twitch combat for sure, but if that is what you're looking for, well, it has it aplenty. Now, for those like me who love losing themselves in the lore, in the grand narrative of the game, Guild Wars 2 has you covered. From the personal story of vanilla through the bridging living world tales and the overarching chronicles of the expansions, the game delivers in spades. Every 3 months there is new free content which brings new story, new maps to explore, new achievements, and new gear. The story is peppered with cutscenes, some intricately rendered artistic masterpieces, others utilizing in-game assets, but all lovingly rendered and crafted from start to finish. The story of our characters and their hero companions plays out over the backdrop of a stunningly beautiful world facing its end. There are real moments of pain and mirth, sorrow and triumph. There are compelling characters who battle at our side as we hunt dragon champions in the far Shiver Peaks to the north, or chase a fallen god across the southern deserts of Alona. Every map has its tales, small and large. Every living world release and expansion builds on the last, showing us more and more of the world, its people, its history, its secrets. But the story is not one and done. From Season 2 of the Living World onwards, these stories are replayable, so you can relive those moments as many times as you like, as well as joining friends as they adventure through the story. There are hidden treasures too, and achievements for you to find, all weaved into the fabric of the tale. And when you're creating a character, please remember that each race has its own starting area and stories too. So if you love alts, there is something new for you to discover with each of the 6 unique races. If story is your bag, Guild Wars 2 is well worth your time. Now, there is a misconception that Guild Wars 2 has no real endgame, and I am happy to report that that is completely incorrect. There are 25 raid bosses and counting in the game, spanning 7 raid instances. The Forgotten Thicket arrived with Heart of Thorns. It has 4 wings and 15 bosses. Its story dives deep into the old lore of the original games. And if you're interested in the story, there are links above to my videos on that. Path of Fire brought 3 new raids, the Hall of Chains, a spirit realm and its imprisoned keeper. It's a stunning and deadly place housing 4 raid encounters. The last, Doom, still considered to be one of the most challenging raid bosses in the game, although some would argue that the next raid holds that accolade. Mr. Right Gambit takes you into the domain of Zamaros, the Djinn, his treasure house, if you will, pocket dimension. There you face off against 3 bosses, which includes Kadim. the other encounter considered one of the most challenging in Guild Wars 2. Now, the most recent raid wing added was the Key of Adashin, which continues the story of Zamaros and Kadim with 3 boss encounters, and throughout all the raids there is lots of yummy cutscenes and lots of yummy lore. If you're looking for great raid content, do head over to Mighty Teapot, both on YouTube and Twitch. He is a top lad and a brilliant gamer too. These raid wings have a weekly reset, but it is also possible to kill a raid boss more than once a week. Provided the person who opens the instance has not killed that boss, you do not get any additional loot for your second kill, but it can be beneficial for raids working on progression and training. There is also 6 strike mission raid encounters, 5 of which were added in the Icebird Saga: Shiverpeak Pass, Voice of the Fallen and Claw of the Fallen, Frania of Jormag, Bone Skinner, Whisper of Jormag, and Forging Steel, with an additional Winter Strike mission, Secret Lair of the Snowmen, that is a seasonal special event. These missions have a single boss and can be run daily, and happily we can expect more and more strike missions to be added as the Icebrood Saga storyline continues. So, to be clear, there is endgame raiding in Guild Wars 2 for sure. Now, many people also believe there is no real endgame armour for Guild Wars 2, and again I am happy to report that is incorrect. There are 2 tiers of legendary weapons made up of 37 unique and beautiful armaments. These are all account bound, allowing you to share the weapon with any character on your account who can wield it. The vanilla legendaries are available for free to play account holders as well, which is a nice cherry on the top. Legendary weapons are truly stunning, with breathtaking effects as well as in-game utility, and can be a real adventure to unlock. There is also top-tier legendary armours, backpacks, trinkets to unlock by raiding and achievements, as well as running fractals, PvP and World v World gameplay. The legendary Envoy set, acquired via raiding and achievements, has some of the most awesome graphical effects I have seen on armour in any game. They are truly works of art. More and more of these top-tier items are being added to the game, so there is always some new treasure to be hunted. Now, to be very clear, this is not a loot treadmill system like some games, and that has some gameplay advantages. You cannot outgear endgame encounters. Yes, you can be better geared than most casual players by a country mile, but success at endgame is always down to skill and tactics, never gear. If you love to craft in-game, Guild Wars 2 has some of the deepest and most meaningful crafting you will encounter in any MMO. There are 9 crafting disciplines to master: armorsmiths for heavy armour, artificers for magical weapons like foci, staves, scepters and tridents, huntsmen craft short bows, long bows, pistols, rifles, harpoon guns, torches and war horns. Jewelers make amulets, rings and earrings. Leatherworkers make medium armour, tailors light armour, and weaponsmiths create axes, daggers, swords, greatswords, maces, hammers, spears and shields. There is also the chef profession for food and dyes, and the scribe for guild hall decorations and consumables. All legendary creation is tied into the crafting system, with the various artisans being able to craft all the legendary weapon precursors. Now, crafting a legendary is a complex undertaking, and if you're interested in that, links above to my Exordium guide. Even if you're not interested in crafting a legendary weapon, it's lovely eye candy, and Exordium really is the greatsword to end all greatswords. All ascended weapons, a tier below legendary, are craftable. All ascended armours are craftable too. Now you should note that ascended weapons and armour have the same powerful stats as their legendary brothers, sans the utility and graphical uniqueness. So in truth, you can craft the best gear in-game, and if that's not a meaningful crafting system, well, then I don't know what one is. If you are a completionist, Guild Wars 2 has achievements at Inception levels. There are countless story achievements for Season 2 and all its episodes, and for all of the story chapters of Heart of Thorns, and Season 3 and all its episodes, and each of the story chapters of Path of Fire and Season 4 and all its episodes, and of course the Icebrood Saga and all its episodes released and otherwise. There are crafting achievements for all the different crafting disciplines. There are weapon collection achievements and world boss achievements and raiding achievements for all the bosses and all the raid wings and all the raid strikes. There are mini collection achievements, jumping puzzle achievements, diving achievements, achievements for every expansion, map, dungeon achievements, slayer achievements, mastery insight achievements, elite specialization achievements, side event achievements, seasonal achievements, as well as achievements linked to PvP, World v World festivals, guilds, and daily achievements too. Now, I'm sure I have missed some achievements, but you get the idea. Many of these achievements reward unique skins, weapons, armours, titles, minis, and a whole host of other rewards. There is always something to be working towards in Guild Wars 2. You can play every day for 7 years like me and not even scratch the surface. If you are looking for awesome character customization for your avatar, for their body, their ear size, their features, eye colour, hairstyle, hair colour, well, Guild Wars 2 delivers. But the customization does not end there. You can change the look of your armour and weapons with the transmutation system, and you can dye your armours too. A single piece of armour can have up to 4 dye channels, and there are literally hundreds of dyes to collect. You can also change the gender and appearance of your character, but not the race yet. All your collected armour skins appear here in your character window, and there is a search facility because there's so many of them, there needs to be one. Once you have unlocked a skin on any character at any weight, that skin is open to all characters who can use it. Yep, you just right-click and add it to wardrobe. The one downside of the system is you do need to spend transmutation charges to alter the look of your gear, but these are easily unlocked in World v World, PvP whilst you're leveling and playing, but if you are not time rich, you can also purchase them on the gem store. Now, trans charges is one of the few things I would remove from the game. Along with the makeover kits, I think this should be in-game for gold, but I'm splitting hairs here. Now, there are also outfits too, which are unlocked account-wide, are dyeable, and are the best bang for your buck from the gem store. And even these gem store items can be purchased with in-game gold via the Gold Gem Exchange on normal accounts. So if you love Fashion Wars, Guild Wars 2 has got you covered, and please do check out my many Fashion Wars videos, links above. Shill. Number 9. Do you love mounts? Well, baby, you ain't seen nothing yet, because Guild Wars 2 has the best mount system I have ever encountered in any game. Not only are the mounts, without exception, lovingly rendered and exquisitely rigged, they are also intricately woven into the very fabric of the game. Every Guild Wars 2 mount is not simply a speed-boosting show pony. They are not click and forget A to B vehicles. No sir, they are not. You and your mount are one. On a raptor, you race across the land, leaping across chasms and over hilltops. On a Springer, you leap into the air, scaling mountains, buildings, and whatever is in your path. The Skimmer allows you to glide over water effortlessly and cross hazardous terrain untouched. The Jackal blinks in and out of reality, moving you forward seamlessly and giving you access to otherwise locked areas of the maps. The truly beautiful Griffin, my favourite mount, allows you to glide across the skies effortlessly. The roller beetles are the speed demons of Guild Wars 2. The Skyscale is a second flying mount which has a hover ascent mechanic as well as a glide. The Warclaw is a World v World specific mount which helps you take down gates in combat, but can also be used outside of World v World maps too. It's a little bit of a speed boost. All these mounts are unlocked via gameplay, all are a joy to use, and all have multiple skins you can purchase from the gem store to pimp them out royally. Mounts are only available to players who have purchased the Path of Fire expansion, so, shill, 50% off until the 8th of May, just saying. And we come to my final selling point for Guild Wars 2. the dev team recently announced a new expansion which will see us return to Cantha. If you are a veteran Guild Wars factions player, then I need to say no more, but if you're not, did you know you can still go back and play the original games? They are old but awesome, and if you're not in the know, well, Cantha is known as the Dragon Continent, the home of the human dragon empire, and reportedly the original home of all dragonkind. Oh yes indeed. So if I have piqued your interest in Cantha, links above to my breakdown of both the continent and the story are probably below by now. Please forgive a shilling content creator. So in summary, there is a new expansion on the horizon. There are many awesome raids and more being added all the time. There are regular story patches and new maps being added to the game. There is beautiful gear to collect, great gameplay, theory crafting, awesome customizations, the best mounts in the world ever, and a wonderful community of gamers supported by a dedicated and talented development team. Plus, fashion was fun. I mean, what more could you ask for as a gamer? Puppies? Now, of course, no game is perfect and there are flaws and nitpicks I could point to, but I already did that in a video, links below. I stand by my recommendation. Try the free-to-play game. You have nothing to lose and a world of adventure to gain. So that's my top 10 reasons to play Guild Wars 2. Let me know if you're planning to jump into the game and give it a go, and if you're already a dedicated Guild Wars 2 fangirl like me, let me know what reasons you would add to my list or what amendments you would make to my list in the comments. And, you know, whilst you're down there, please do like this video if indeed you did like it. Share it if the spirit moves you. Subscribe and ring that bell if you think I've earned it. And please do show some love to Cody, Kildare, Cub, Molini, Jolly Joestar, Dark Griever, and all my wondrous, fantabulous Patreons, without whom I would be unable to dedicate the time and resources I do to my content creation. I can never thank you all enough. If you'd like to join them, links to my Patreon page below. And if you really are feeling inspired to jump in and you forgot what I said earlier in the video, well, there are links to my Guild Wars 2 referrals down there too, to the free-to-play game and the Path of Fire expansion, which now includes all the content from the Heart of Thorns expansion 2, thanks to the generosity of ArenaNet and their partner program, of whom I am a proud affiliate. Using any of these referral links directly supports my channel, but costs you not a penny more. Now I hope you'll come back and join me again for more gaming goodness very soon. But until then, stay safe, stay awesome, and game on.